All right, guys, so I bought a 720 and we are already started on the teardown process, as you can see. I know, I can't leave well enough alone, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about why this is happening right here, right now. Let's go. So in order to do downpipes on this, which this is the dumbest design ever, but you got to take this off, all this. So all this has to come off. So you have to undo the side skirts there in order to get to these bolts to take the rear fenders off. So side skirts, all this, all that has to come off to do downpipes. So exciting, people. Now, if you get a 720 and you want to make it go faster than what it does right now, you got a whole lot of work just to do downpipes and stuff like that.
Was it worth the trade-in besides the money value?
For me, I mean, I was gonna lose 70 to 80 grand.
No, I mean, like, besides that aspect, was it worth it?
I mean, it depends. Like, I don't know, this is my third McLaren. You know, I've had it, the 600, the 675, and this. This is my first non-LT model. And then when my 765 gets here in the fall, it'll be my, my third LT model.
Are you keeping this with the 675 or the 765?
No, the reason I traded in the 675 was because I was putting too many miles on it and I was gonna lose a whole lot of money with trade-in. So I got a 720, so when I trade this in, I don't lose near as much money. Okay. You know, I can stomach 15 to 20K hit. I can't stomach a $70 to $80,000 hit. That's a big, if not more than that, depending on how I drive in the market. So imagine, let's say the market cools off in, 6-7 months when my car gets here, and the values are no longer as high as they are, and I've driven, 30,000 miles. Well, congratulations, that 70 to 80K hit's probably more of like $100 and something thousand hit. I'm not prepared to do that. Big shout out to Bob. Bob for hooking it up, making sure that I got my beater McLaren, which I know a lot of people are gonna say stupid shit like, a McLaren's not a beater. It doesn't matter what it is. Guess what? 458 Destroyer daily drives a little Ferrari. That's his beater. This is my beater. So I'm trying to get to that level though. That's the whole reason I'm going to the 765 and then hopefully getting into the P1 successor. Not hopefully, actually. I'll get my allocation. You guys heard it here first. I will be getting an allocation for the P1 successor.
Did you see he gave, what's that dude's name, the Strand Man? I don't know how.
Yeah, he gave him a
fucking LaFerrari for a Veyron.
That's 458's car.
Yeah, but like it's just crazy how some of these cats are willing to trade cars for 4 weeks, and like I don't know. I guess.
I mean, you got to think about it. Like, if someone was to come to me and be like, "Oh, bro, I want to trade you my my Pista for your 720 for." Like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna care. But like, all right, bro, like, we have the same level of car, so yeah. I'm cool with that. But if someone came up and was like, oh, bro, I want to trade you my Turbo Civic for your, 720, like, fuck out of here.
No, yeah, facts.
Like, it needs to be like something similar.
What would ever justify that trade? Like
nothing.
Like
it would need to be clout. Like, it would need to be so much clout involved with that it made sense.
You'd have to have a fucking 7-second Civic.
You'd have to have like that and like Amber Rose in the passenger seat. Like
I don't think I would do that either. I'm not.
No shade to Amber, but nah.
She's hot and all, but nah. Now if you said like Rihanna,
what?
all right, cool.
Baby.
She's not bad looking, man.
Who, Rihanna?
No, Amber Rose.
Amber Rose.
Yeah, that big forehead tattoo.
That's cool, man.
Look, I remember seeing Amber back when she was dancing out here in Philly when we were kids. No, before.
Oh, you're talking about years before. Oh,
so
okay.
we used to see Amber at the street races before this. So we used to be out at the street races and we would walk into the strip club so we can get bands and not get our cars impounded. Yo, Amber was out there dancing, doing all this stuff back in the day.
Really?
Amber has been Amber since forever.
Bro, she was Philly to New York, sometimes in Miami, but
bro, this is before your time. She so he only knows other stories. We were seeing this like live action. I would not want Amber Rose in my car. No shade to her, but I'm just not interested in that.
Rihanna? Yeah.
Rihanna got ASAP Baby. I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems with that.
Would you take Rihanna before ASAP Baby?
Yeah, but now with ASAP Baby, nah. I don't want no problems.
Would you take Kim before Kanye?
Never. I wouldn't take Kim at all.
Would you take Chloe before Travis?
No, I wouldn't take none of them. None of them. Look what happens to any dude who gets involved with the Kardashians. Your career is ruined. You either go crazy or your career is ruined. Maybe both.
The only person that hasn't gone crazy yet is Travis Barker. I think
he's cool for now.
Crazy.
I mean, it's cool for now. But, I mean, Anything can happen. I'm cool on that, man. Like that fam, they seem like very nice individuals. I don't want no problems with it though. I don't want no problems.
Who was it? Scott Disick. Is that it? Yeah, like,
he was alcoholic.
Yeah.
But he he's sober. I mean, well, supposedly he's sober. I don't know. I don't talk to them like that. They're not in my friend circle. But oh man, so we got to be careful. We can't open the doors and shit like that because we'll set everything off if the ECU's out.
I forgot that they put another lift in there.
Yeah.
Why is Dino closing the walls?
Well, so we're doing it because we want to section off the customers. So we're gonna have a door there. So the biggest issue with how things are going now is people can't figure out where to come in. Even with the signs, even with the arrows, they don't know where to come into the shop. So if we put a big glass door there, guess what? They know where that's it. You know, hey, this is the entrance. There's no mistaking it. And then we section that part off so that way they can't just easily, you know, this part isn't easily accessible.
Yeah.
You know, so the shop is where all the work happens. It's not where the customers sit. The customers sit over there in the lounge that we built in the warehouse, which was mad expensive, but we did it to make it easier for everybody. You know, so this right here, we want work to get done. And when it's cold, remember, like this wall being open, the hot air would filter out. It was just a draft. So we're trying to make it easier for everybody. So I think ultimately what we're gonna do is we might actually, I don't know if we'll get another one of those. Like, I don't like that option. Like he got it, but I don't necessarily like it. Yeah, so we'll probably get something like this similar over into the warehouse.
Okay.
We'll run the ducting through here. So we have, you know, an opening here, one over there, and then probably one in the fabrication room.
This tubular.
Yeah, so that way, you know, everyone can be comfortable. Because if people aren't comfortable, they're not gonna work and be productive.
Right.
You know, so if you have people in here and it's cold, like I'm not gonna wanna show up for work, because if it's cold in here, I'll be like, why the fuck am I coming to work if it's fucking freezing? It doesn't make any sense. So, you know, we just try to make it a little bit better for the people that work for us, right? So that's probably one thing, and that's, you know, why we have to section this off and do all that and spend all this money. This needs to go out and get flashed.
Tuning it?
Yeah. You have to bench flash them in order to unlock them first. So you can't really
Now let me
do
ask
much
you a
without
question. Does that show with the new WRX? Obviously, like
you front flash them.
You can't flash that, and it automatically voids your warranty because it keeps it in the brain. Can you flash this and it not?
It depends on your dealership. So like some dealerships are cool. You know, I mean, I have a pretty good relationship with McLaren. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, if I blow a motor, they're not gonna cover it.
Yeah.
But for like accumulator issues or, you know, small things, like they'll take care of that.
So downpipes and turbo. If you were to do that and then you give the car back, I mean, are you maintaining the value of it?
I don't know. I might not do turbos though. Well, it depends. If they break that shit, I might have to, but I'm hoping not. I would prefer not to have to do turbos. I wish they would have just kept V-bands. Like V-band all the things. Like at this stage, you had V-bands on the 838Ts, and now with the 840T, you put 3 bolts in there. That's stupid.
This is the 840T motor.
Yeah, this is the 840T.
Okay.
So the 600s, 675, 650, pretty much every McLaren before this had the 838T.
838T.
Yeah, and now this is the 840T, which, you know, it's a better design, I can't say kind of. Like, there's a lot of improvements that they made, but one of them being, you know, turbos that spool up much faster. So they spool up faster, they make a good bit more power.
Same turbos or?
No, they're different turbos. The throttle response is better. Oh yeah. So the throttle response is better. I mean, overall, the car is just, it's a better piece together car. The interiors are more refined. I'm still an LT guy, so I don't necessarily care about how refined the interior is. I mean, I had a 675 and a 600, and the iris system is fucking garbage. Backup camera is garbage. The backup camera in this is better, and it does have the all-around cameras, you know, for the sensors. This is a 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can always tell by the speed tick. So the newer models, they have a silver speed tick, and the older models have a red speed tick. So that's how you can tell which 720s are newer. So if your 720 has a silver speed tick, it's I do believe it's a 2020 or a late 19 or 2020. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So
I just like the way these look from the back.
I mean, they look good. They're very sleek. Like I think the 675 is probably the best looking car they made next to the P1. So it's P1, 675, and 600 LT.
And these doors don't go up; they go out.
I mean, they go up and out, but they're hinged up here. So if you have a 720 coupe, they're hinged at 2 points, on the roof and then at the fender. But the spiders are only hinged at the fender. at the, you know, the hinge by the door where it opens up. So, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what this thing can do. I mean, they're pretty fast once you tune them. I mean, they're fast without. So, comparing this to the 675, the 675 obviously was more raw. It's an LT model. Same with the 600 LT. This is quieter in cabin, but this is faster stock than either one of those were modded.
Okay.
So when I ran the 675 against the twin turbo R8 that we built, pretty close. This, it wouldn't have even been a race. Like this bone stock would have beat that car.
Why is that? Even though the 675 is a rarer car, why?
It's just, this is just a better motor.
Okay.
With better subjective, but you know, it's a better setup.
But this doesn't get anywhere near close to 765.
No, the 765 walks this for a number of reasons. You know, 765 makes more power, better gear ratio, or shorter gear ratio. I can't say better. It's a shorter gear ratio, and it's lighter. So this car is already pretty light for what it is. Most 720 coupes around like 3,200 pounds.
Okay.
You know, you get a 765, it's a little bit over 3,000 pounds. They're almost, I'd say they're almost like 3,100 pounds, but you know, they're really light. They make more power, a shorter gear ratio, so they accelerate faster. So Hennessy did a comparison. They did a comparison video between the 765 and the 720. The 765 makes this car look like it's standing still, and this car is fast. Like these cars trap around, you know, like low to mid 140s in the quarter mile.
Okay.
Stock. When they're modded, you know, they're trapping low 150s on pump gas, race gas. You know, they're trapping anywhere between mid to high 150s on race gas. You know, so these are fast cars. The 765 makes this thing look like it's standing still.
And they trap what? Mid 160?
They're trapping, I mean, what the world record is like 870 at 160 something, 163, 164, something like that. So
you're gonna have 2 rocket ships.
No, this is getting traded in.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have 2 rocket ships.
Yeah, with the R8.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if people can beat my 765, then I'm gonna go home and get the R8. Just as simple. It's like, all right, you beat me in this, time to go home and get the R8. So as soon as we get the 765, we're bringing it down here, and we're gonna tear everything apart. So we're gonna do downpipes. We're gonna tune it. I don't think we're gonna do injectors because I don't feel that it's necessary. Because these have 16 injectors, essentially 2 per cylinder, which.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but they're pretty small injectors. They're like 330 cc or something like that.
But it's all
But
combined in all.
But there's 16 of them. So, and I think what they should have done is did direct injected important injection, kind of like Lambo and Audi did with the 5.2s. They have direct injection and then port injection.
These just only DIT?
No, these are port injection.
These only they're port.
Yeah.
Really?
So there's you know essentially 2 per cylinder, port injection, which I guess it makes sense, but you could have had a direct injection setup and then had a port injection setup, just to keep the valves clean, the exhaust valves, and then we could have just hijacked the port injectors, put bigger ones in there, and you know made some jam. But I mean it works. But when you change all 16, because I think Injector Dynamics makes 1050s for this, so imagine
per injector.
Yeah, 1050 cc per injector. You know, so you got you know 2 1050s per cylinder. It's overkill.
You never hit your IDC limit at that point.
No, so your duty cycles are always going to be fairly low.
That's a little overkill.
Like it's a lot. It's a lot of fuel. You know, it's unnecessary, but you know for whatever reason, and I'm pretty sure it's because it's one harness, so you can't split latencies. Okay. So if there was 2 separate harnesses and then you know they had like a high and low side injector or whatever, or a high and low load injector, the latencies would have been different, and so you could run, you know, 1050s in one harness, and then, you know, the stock 330s in another one. Like, who the fuck knows? But I'm pretty sure it has something to do with not being able to scale the latencies properly. You can't have 2 separate sets, but.
So when you say scale the latencies, like you mean just in terms of like the order, in the way in which they.
No, so when you're scaling injectors for for whatever, so let's say you have really big injectors.
Yeah.
You know, let's say you have, you know,
1200s.
I mean, nowadays it's not even that big, but whatever. So you're always trying to set up your injector values, your latency. So like your voltages, your latencies, and everything else. So when you have these big injectors, like I guess the easiest way to put it is like an Integra. You know, Integras with 2,000 cc injectors. In some cases, you can get them dialed in. You can get the latencies to to act like it's a smaller injector than what it is. But usually that doesn't happen because a big injector like that can only stay open and closed for so long. It can it's very, very difficult to have a 2000 cc injector mimic a 250 cc injector.
So when it comes to like your daily driving it, you kind of like
it's just ass. Like
Yeah.
it's just they don't really idle that well and all
Dumps
that.
fuel for no reason.
when is
Yeah.
it? So wait, when do you think that happens in terms of like the low end of it? So like, I mean, like for example, I have 1200s, right? So like, can you dial those in pretty well, or
Like right now, like my 1650s and my Evo,
Yeah.
like we're pretty much stretching it. Like stretching it from like a daily driving, perspective. Like it drives pretty decent, but there's always issues where, like, let's say you turn the AC on, your idle starts, getting kind of
Fluctuating
wonky,
shit,
it
yeah.
fluctuates, and it's just you're trying to get a really big injector to mimic a small injector, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't always work.
So it's
You
like
know.
if you don't need
If
them,
you don't need the fuel, you shouldn't do it.
yeah,
People just get these big injectors because they think they need them. I'm like, you
Yeah.
should always get the right injector for your application. Leave a little bit of headroom, a little bit, not a ton. So if you think you need like a 1000 cc injector, probably get a 1300. Just to give yourself some headroom. Don't go, okay, I need a 1000 cc injector. I'm gonna get a 2000 cc injector. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. In this case, like, we don't necessarily need 1050s all the way around. Like, you could probably get away with like 750s or something like that.
Gotcha.
And it'd be perfectly fine. I mean, these things are fine running race gas with the stock injectors in there, running 8-second passes without bigger injectors. I mean, you're probably at the limit. Your injector duty cycles are probably really, really high. I mean, you're probably just, almost static, I'd say, with two sets of 330s in there. You're probably almost static. Like the injector's probably just wide open spraying.
Gotcha.
But I mean, for a glory pass, sure. Just to run like a 890 or something. But realistically, if you're trying to, run 8s, you should probably upgrade the injectors. I don't think we're going to do that though. I mean, I'm not going to keep the car long enough to make it worthwhile.
Look at this car. I do. Color's clean too. Color's
Sorrows.
slick.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have got a 720 in this color, which is why my 765 looks the way it does. So we'll see. I think this is going to be, a fun car to have for the next few months, just to drive around, see how it feels. I mean, so far, I like the way it drives. I like the turning radius. It's better than the 600 and the 675. So, you can get in the parking spots a little bit better. Having those situational awareness cameras, to kind of showcase everything that's around you is nice. The interior, like I said, is a little bit more refined. I'm used to race seats, so I'm used to the P1 and the center seats. So these comfort seats or sport seats, just kind of But I mean, the visibility is nice because it's a coupe. So they have a big glass back there, which is nice.
Oh, it's your first coupe?
Yeah, it's my first McLaren coupe. It'll probably be my last McLaren coupe, to be honest, up until the P1 successor gets here. I'm just not a fan of McLaren coupes. Like they're so sleek in the rear, and it just doesn't have the character. Like all the Spyders, they have the buttresses. So you have the buttress behind each seat, so it gives the back end a little bit more pizzazz.
Yeah.
So seeing this is kind of like, but you lose a lot of the aesthetics. Like when you have the coupe with the 765, like you could see inside the engine compartment. You can get the red lighting and all that stuff. And
It's
but
more
with
open.
the Spider, you can't do that. And I mean, McLaren doesn't really care about showing off motors anyway. They never were. They were never the company to show off the motors, which I'm perfectly okay with. Now Ferrari, I would never get a Ferrari Spider because I like seeing the motor.
I was going to say they're
like
meant to see the motor.
yeah, like the Pista. Like I'm not gonna get a Pista Spider because I want to see the fucking motor. There's no point in buying a Ferrari.
I was going to say that's their whole MO.
Oh yeah. My bad on the whole ECU placement. It's actually here.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that was my bet.
There's two different. I saw that one, but it was thinner.
Yeah. So
So I'll pull that one out too.
I have to check and see.
But I already have it in the box.
Oh, you already have that one? Okay.
Bigger. So
Yeah, this.
Go to this side.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was in the passenger.
This was
Yeah.
actually way easier. The 675 was a pain in the ass compared to this. So basically.
Yeah, it was right here.
You see the two harnesses right there?
This is it.
That's why I assumed that was the ECU.
Yeah.
And I assume that's either the
TCU.
or body control module. or
Yeah,
something.
but that all right, cool.
Difference.
One controls the engine,
One
one controls the
controls
transmission.
Yep.
Wow.
Assuming that's a TCU.
I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know that they were.
This is my first time working on one of these.
Yeah.
We have one.
So,
Yeah.
on a 720 at least.
It's okay, but we
Yeah.
only
So
have one.
here's a question though. Why is there? So why do they separate them?
Just because it's a lot to control and it's a lot of electronics in
A
one.
lot of
in one thing.
computations in one box.
Yeah, it's just you need the hardware to do so many inputs and outputs. So an ECU has inputs for every different sensor. So a MAP sensor, a MAP sensor, O2 sensors, whatever. And it has outputs for, what does this have? 16 injectors.
Injectors,
so
yeah.
that's 16 different pins that it needs. You know, it only has so much I/O and only so much processing power.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it's not that you couldn't put it all in the same.
It's just
unit.
not efficient.
Right, it's just easier to split it up, and then you have all your wires running to one
Okay.
side instead of half and half.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
It's a clutter.
yeah, it's just a clutter. So I assume that's I
Yep.
packed it up last night, but
Yeah. It's more than likely.
oh, they
yeah.
changed. I double checked because I had their address saved for the overnight shipping, and I was like, let me double check and make sure it's going to the same place. They go to Tempe, Arizona now. Yeah, instead of California. So, yeah,
That's nice, huh?
I'll call them
Just to
before
verify,
they,
wow.
yeah, to verify.
Yeah.
But the TCU, whatever this is,
Yep.
assuming it's TCU. I don't have the factory manual for this car, but this is skinnier.
Yep.
See, it's not very
Oh
deep.
yeah, it's much thinner.
And it only has a single harness going to it
Oh yeah,
instead of two.
actually.
Oh, it does
yes,
have
two.
two.
Yeah, it has
but
two.
but the one is very
Very
skinny.
slim. Yeah, this one's very slim.
So it
So
only has
yeah,
so based on the number of
input.
wires,
Yep.
I/O, I assume that the other
Yeah.
one, plus knowing that the
Yeah,
600,
the 600, 675, 570s,
yeah, I assume
McLaren
that was-
GTs,
Right.
all up in
I
here.
assume that was the ECU.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Have you driven the 720 yet?
No, I haven't. But from the passenger seat, it feels like it spools quicker. So it doesn't necessarily feel faster than the other cars, especially after the tune
Yep.
at least. But I think this is deceivingly fast because the power is so much flatter.
Yeah.
Cars feel faster when
It's punchier when
When-
there's like a hit.
yeah, when
like I
there's
said,
a hit, right?
yeah.
So like my Evo, for example, with a 4-cylinder and a big turbo, it's lag, wham, and then
Yep.
when it hits you all at once like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
So it's like getting, it's like me running a Rico and
Yep.
pushing them like consistently versus me.
Nudging, yeah.
It's like me doing this versus me knocking
Doing
him
that.
over, right?
So if you
I knock him over, he's gonna feel
Yeah.
that more, right? So it's more abrupt,
yeah,
right? So
this is definitely deceptively quick,
right,
which
so,
I see how people can get in trouble with these.
yeah, because they run what 9s from the factory.
Yeah.
Right? So
Running
What's this?
at 140 something.
something.
They run low 10s at like 130 something.
Yeah.
Like this is 100 on routine. They're running like 142 to 144, trapping 140 stock.
Stop. That's fast.
That's a fast
That's
car.
fast.
You know, so it's not like this thing is slow by any stretch. It's just unless you drive them on a regular basis, you can't really tell. You know, so after having three, this is my third McLaren. I'm like, this is definitely faster, but the way it delivers the
smoother.
power, it's smoother.
Powered. It's got the twin volute
Yeah.
turbo
Which,
setup, so that way it's more responsive. It just
Yeah.
it's quicker.
Yeah.
It's more better throttle
Yeah,
response.
yeah, it's much better throttle response versus the 600. It just felt laggy because the 600 was laggy.
Right.
It was laggy. But I'm like, boom,
Right.
and it felt fast because of that.
I
which
remember
is
the
exactly
600 versus my 911. Just like the way they felt was my 911 is instant spool,
Yep.
whereas the 600, I'm like, dude, this feels like almost as bad as like a big turbo
So-
4-cylinder, but not quite.
yeah.
Get some 7,200 shots for yourself, different things like that. Like,
Yeah, 7200 is nice. I like the compression.
yeah, and plus you can use it for summertime when you're shooting with the
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So we could do that. I think that'd be.
I mean, yeah, my baby mom stopped being mad at me.
Okay, well, I can't help it. I can't do that.
Yeah.
They
We're
still
not.
mad at you?
Yeah, we're not vibing right now. Yeah. Well, only two of them. Only two of them are mad.
Do I know?
Yeah.
It happens.
It
No,
happens.
he went like this, and I know why.
Yeah, it happens. Like everyone will get over it in time. Like we go through these periods
Maybe
where it's
6
like,
months.
nah, like a month or two. We go over periods where it's like, they're not happy. Like was like, really? Like, why would you do that? Like, can't you just pick somebody else?
Can't you just like yell at somebody else for the week?
Yeah, that's pretty much them. They're just like, yo, why can't you just be single for the rest of your life? I'm like, all right, that works. Ideally, that's what it was.
Very noble of you.
It's a very big step.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen, obviously.
I mean, look,
We know
man.
that one.
Yo, celibacy is that shit, man. You gotta.
Nick Cannon ain't. Well, he's celibate now.
Is
Speaking
he
of-
actually?
He announced himself being celibate.
Yeah, but I gotta
did
go
see a
after.
TikTok about that.
Yeah, I gotta
Wait.
fly back out on the 2nd for the baby shower.
For what?
Yeah, the baby shower. Baby Canyon.
Going to Nick Cannon's baby shower.
Bree's having a baby shower on the 2nd. I gotta go. I gotta be
You know
there.
the second's today, right?
The 2nd. No, April 2nd.
I was like, brother, it is the second, I think.
No,
No, today's the 3rd, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Third.
This is I gotta be out there, so I'm like, yo, I'm flying right back out to Cali,
Yeah.
so I can be there for the baby shower. You know, just gotta be there, gotta support. You know, it's Baby Canyon, man. This is a new baby coming.
I can't believe he's having another one.
I mean, okay.
What's that, number 5 or 4?
It's 8.
It's what?
Is this number 8?
Can you imagine Simon with a kid?
No. Simon is a kid himself.
To be honest with you, I actually could imagine, but that's the
I
beauty of
cannot
it.
imagine
I can
Simon with a
imagine Simon
child.
with a kid because I feel like Simon would take so much more pride in making sure that child is perfect. Than
No.
anything.
Yeah, Simon don't know what he's doing. That baby would be destitute if Simon had to do the raising, which is why we need to make sure Simon gets with a good woman, a good godly
Christian
woman.
woman.
No, not Christian woman. Good, a Muslima. He needs a good Muslima who is going to take care of that child and do all the child rearing. Because
has no
Simon,
idea
I
what he's
don't
doing.
know, man. Nowadays, you can't find a female that'll do all that.
Wow, he is correct.
You know?
you can, you just need to make more money. It's true. Make more money.
I hate it here.
I'm saying, if you make yourself 1 in a billion,
I thought he
It's-
said if you make yourself a billion.
yeah, you make yourself 1 in a billion, your options open up a whole lot more.
Actually, you know what?
That's true.
He's
Qualities over
The,
quantities.
the quality of people that you can meet, not just females, just overall in general, skyrockets the more money you make. So, and I don't care what anyone says. They can say, oh, it's not about money and this and that. I've never seen poverty help anybody either. All right. So I'm not saying it's all about money, but money does help you put yourself in situations that you normally wouldn't be in.
Absolutely.
All right. It puts you in rooms that you couldn't get in without having said money.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
there's no way I would know billionaires at this point if I hadn't spent the money to get in those situations. You
Now
know,
you got friends that are billionaires, and the reason you got them because you had to work to get up there.
Key word you said friends, not
Yeah.
friend.
yeah. So you know, so let's say, like, you want to go to a Knicks game or Nets game or whatever. You want to go to a basketball game. If you get courtside tickets, generally the people who have courtside tickets are more influential people. They're willing to spend the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per ticket, whatever.
Get that seat.
You know, these people generally have money. So when you're sitting there and you're talking to them, they're like, oh, so what do you do? Oh man, I do this and this and this and this. Oh, well, you know, I'm a real estate broker, like my guy Aaron Youngers. Cool guy, one of the coolest people I have ever met. Just super cool. Dude's worth a whole lot of money. But I would have never met him if I wasn't sitting courtside at the Nets game, right? So if I'd have been like, all right, AB, we just need to stay inside because, you know, you're too hot right now. Let's just chill, blah, blah, blah. Instead of spending a little bit of money, I would have never met Aaron, which in turn, we would have never been able to get tickets for the Knicks game and all this stuff. So that's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, it's not all about money. And they're right. It's not always about money, but money helps you put yourself in situations that you normally couldn't be in without it.
And
So
meet people that, you know,
That's it.
made it up there.
I would have never been able to meet half the people that I met if I hadn't put myself in that situation. It's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go take a trip. You want to come? How much is this trip? Oh, it's 40, 50K. Cool, whatever. I'll spend it. You get to go on this trip. You meet all these cool people. You either A, maybe do business with them, or B, just become friends. Like me and Bo.
Networking, absolutely.
Like, I love talking to Bo. Bo's ridiculous. He is hilarious half the time. You know, and like me and Bo, we talk shit on each other on Instagram. Everyone knows him as Casper, you know, J-Lo's ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's one of the funniest people in the world, and nobody would know that if they didn't really know him, because they only see, you know, the Instagram side of it. He's one of the coolest people I've ever met. Him, Captain Britain, you know, Joe Garrett from Love Island. You know, everyone's talking trash about Bree right now for being Nick Cannon's baby mom. Bree is one of the sweetest people on the planet. one of the sweetest people I've ever met. She's so nice, and she's always so helpful. If I ever have a question about anything when it comes to LA or just the general location, boom, she's right there to answer it. It helps you build a relationship with people that you normally couldn't build a relationship with. Like if I hadn't gone on trips or like been in the same room as these people, you know, due to business deals or whatever.
You don't never came across meeting them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You always want to put yourself in a position to win. And sometimes you got to spend money to put yourself in a position to win. Guess what? I'm getting a 765 LT 𝗦𝗓. Not because, you know, I'm cool or whatnot. I mean, now I'm cool with the guys at McLaren, but it's because I bought so many cars from them and I've sent them a ton of customers. So all my friends, I'm like, hey, you want to go buy a car? Buy it from my guy, Bob. Now,
Bob's getting a lot of money.
he's getting business coming in. I get cars for cheap and I get these limited models. So when the P1 successor comes out, there's probably gonna be 375 of those. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a superstar. I'm not a ball player, a rapper, none of that. But guess what? I'm gonna be one of the first people to get a $1.something million hypercar.
And it's reserved for you.
And it's all because I took the time to build those relationships. Yeah, I spent a whole lot of money, but it helped me build those relationships. And that's what people don't want to do. They want to gain everything, but sacrifice nothing. You know, oh, I don't want to spend any money. Oh, bro, can I pick your brain? Like, you make millions of dollars. Yo, I'm gonna sit down and pick your brain. Can I pick your brain? If I'm outside, I will answer anyone's questions. If I'm already outside doing my thing, if I'm just out and about, cool, I'll talk to you. But if you want me to stop what I'm doing, you want me to stop, you know, handling business or spending time with my kids or friends or whatever, and come talk to you, you gotta pay.
Right.
I'm like, I know something that you don't. You make $70,000, you know, a year. I make $70,000 a week. There's a difference.
There's a difference between,
You know, so if you want to get to that point, then you might want to sit down with me. You might want to pay me for my time. You know, if there's something that I want to learn and I don't want to take the time to do so, I find who knows it and I pay to sit down with them. I'm like, all right, well, he's huge when it comes to real estate, you know, deals. He's a real estate broker. Dude is worth tons of money. I want to learn how that works. Aaron, what does it take to sit down? Hey, can I pay for this? Can I invite you out to dinner and pay for this or whatever on your time? I just need, even if it's not a full day, bro, I just need 20 minutes of your time. 20 minutes of your time, whatever. Oh, you know, I got to go here. Here's $3,000. Give you $3,000 just so we can have a sit down for 20 minutes. Because I'll learn more in that 20 minutes
absolutely,
than me spending 20 hours, you know, trying to learn
something that you
on
don't
my
know,
own.
and having him deal with a bunch of things that, you know, you don't have to deal with. Some things that you would rely on him. Most
Exactly.
importantly, you're learning a lot of knowledge that in short amount of time, where you would have to put a lot of research into. So that's awesome.
You know, but most people aren't smart enough to figure that out. You know, they're like, I'm cheap. I'm not spending the money. They'll go out and they'll spend $1,000 getting trash at the bar. They'll go spend hundreds of dollars on designer that they don't need. They'll go spend all this money buying sneakers and whatever else. And then when you look at it, you're like, bro, that didn't gain you anything. Like, okay, you were flexing. I was like, but the real flex is having a dude who's sitting next to you worth $500 million who's giving you tickets to go to a game. I was like, that's a flex. Where this dude's like, hey, you know, you want my tickets? You know, they're courtside tickets. You want them? Hell yeah, I want them.
Hell yeah.
That's a flex.
I guess I learned that the hard way because I never really cared about like flexing. I just like shoes. But again, I just stopped buying them because like I need to buy more things that help my business, that help me grow and help. You know, like when Rico's like, oh, we need to do this. I need to be able to have that type of equipment or mindset to do it. So. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care about like I bought my over-the-shoulder screen bag. Okay, cool, but like that helps me because all my stuff stays in there, and it's a necessity because now I don't gotta go looking for shit or losing shit.
It's all nice and organized in there. Yeah.
You want to pay to go to the finish line, Simon. That's how it works. Whether it's friendships, relationships, romantics, whatever, you always want to pay to get to the finish line. And that's what, you know, these dudes are, oh, I got swag, I got game, I got all this stuff. I don't have to do any of that. And you're right, you don't. But guess what? It's real easy to just be like, all right, I'm going to jump to the front of the line. You know, case in point, there's dudes that I know that are in, you know, my ex's DMs right now. Like they comment on all her pictures. I'm not going to, you know, call these dudes out, but it's hilarious. And they're commenting and saying, oh, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, you're this, oh my God, oh, you're so amazing, blah, blah, blah. But they're subscribed to, you know, her OnlyFans and whatnot, just dumping money, dumping tons of money, thinking that they're gonna get a shot. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter how much game you have or how much game you think you have. You gotta be able to get to the finish line. Like, spending money to her is a sport. I'm like, luckily, you know, I was smart enough to be like, yo, I'm not playing this game. There ain't no sport here. You ain't just gonna spend all my money. But I was able to get to the finish line instead of going through all this craziness and sit here and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because it was just, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I can do. This is what I have to offer. But there's no games here. You know what I can do. You know what I have. There's no competition. You can get with this dude who's talking all this bullshit and doing all this, or you can get the guy that actually knows what you like, your favorite color, you know, pays attention to the things, this and this. Where you want to go. Tell me where you want to go. I want to go to Miami. Boom, done. Let's go. We're heading to Miami. Oh, I want to go here. Boom, done. I want to go to Nobu. Boom, done. Like, you pay to get, you know, get to the finish line, guys. Like, I don't, you're like, oh, it's tricking. I'm like, no. I was like, it's paying to get to the finish line. Like, I'm not here to, you know, sit and be like, oh, let's do all this song and dance. Like, if I'm going to go to a nice place, I'm going to go to a nice place. Oh, you need to, like, get a Prius and, you know, like, take her on a couple dates for, I'm like, the fuck? So I'm going to buy a Prius? I'm going to, like, dumb myself down to go buy a Prius just to, motherfucker, no! Fuck all that shit. Because it helps you in all the arenas. It's like, okay, well, guess what? If she has friends and she sees that you're doing all these nice things, like, you know, getting, I don't know, taking her out for nice dinners. You're driving around in really nice cars. Like, you buy her a pair of red bottoms or, you know, just little gifts here and there. Guess what? Her friends take notice. And then if you have friends who are trying to get there, you just got your friends bumped up to the finish line. So any guys that were trying to talk to that girl's friends or whatever else instantly fall off, because now they're like, oh my God, does your guy have a friend? Boop. And now you can hook all your homeboys up. And that's how that works. I'm like, yo, this is my guy. He's a good dude. Boom, 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 boom.
That's a form of networking too.
So now all your homeboys are good to go. Yeah. So now you hook all your homeboys up with some chicks that they might not have been able to, you know, get a hold of. It's all about network. Just getting to the front of the line. Like, I don't like wasting time. I was like, I just want to get to the front of the line. Because then you can see if it's even worth it. If it costs me, you know, $300 on dinner to get to the front of the line and see if it's worthwhile, so be it. That's $300 that I paid to get a dinner. I'm like, oh man, this shit ain't even worth it. All right, you gotta go. As opposed to spending 3-4 weeks kicking game and all this stuff, trying to, oh, why don't we just meet up for coffee? Look, tell me the place you really want to go. Where do you really want to go? Oh, I want to go to Del Frisco's. I've never been. Boom. All right, let me hit this person up. Boom, boom, boom. Get the best table, do this and this and this. Done. $300. Finished. Can tell right then and there. Pay for results, baby. I pay for results. That's it. You know, and then if it pans out to be something cool, all right, it worked out. If not, it's $300. It's not the end of the world.
At least you get to know that how that person is, like you said, you know, you want to get to the finish line and see what it's like.
My time is worth more than money. Well, I can't say that. My time is worth, well, it's true. Yeah, my time is worth more than money at this point. Yeah, because you can't get time back. I can always make more money. I can't make more time. So. Yeah, so. But that's it, guys. So that's what's happening with the 720. I bought a 720 and already modding it. So next time you see it, it'll be fast. So, you know, exhaust work, tune. You know, we'll keep you updated. Might get a race in with somebody. We'll see. I'm trying to race some New York boys. We'll see. We'll try to, you know, either the No Hesse team or the One Stock crew. But most of those guys, they're not going to run. But we'll see. You know, never know. I'll hit up Rock. You know, make sure you guys check out Rock Nation's channel. I'm going to hit him up and see if he can set something up. You know, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to race the R8, though. But they might race this. You know, might get a nice little roll in, little 60 roll action. Got to put some 888Rs on here first or wait till it warms up. But, you know, fingers crossed it does well. So, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, click the links below. You guys can check out my financial education channel, which explains how you can get all of this stuff. So it explains like how I made all my money. All right, so I know a lot of people on YouTube, you know, like Mr. Organic and all of them, like they don't really talk about how they make their money or they're very vague. I literally tell you guys how I made my money and how you can do the same thing so that way you can buy these things. All right, so financial education channel is in the link below. Click it. All right, catch you guys. Be safe, be smart, peace out.